pull up my shorts.
Sassy.
There we go. Now my skirt is actually out. Ugh.
We knew this podcast wasn't for children, but I didn't know it was going to be NC-17.
I'm a little edgy today, you know. I'm showing a little thigh. I've been looking for an excuse to wear this for something, like visually, like on the internet. I've been looking to cross-dress on the internet for a while. Actually, I have before, but not in this. And this is what I've really been waiting for. So, if I take a drink of my water, is it gonna like get lip gloss all over it?
Probably. I've never seen you shake so much while taking a drink of water.
Pure stress. This is what it's like to be a woman, guys. Put yourself in their shoes, literally. No?
Canceled!
Hey!
I think that's record time for you getting canceled.
Within seconds.
My lip gloss getting on my glass. Being a woman is so hard.
I don't know, man. It's difficult. I'm just empathizing.
We're just going to talk about Roe v. Wade right now.
Yeah, okay. So,
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Cynical Cinephiles podcast. I am Caitlin.
And I am Caleb.
And today we are going to be talking about the nostalgic masterpiece that is Hocus Pocus.
Yes, truly a masterpiece for the ages. If there ever were to be one, this is, yeah.
What is considered to be the greatest movie of our generation?
Trolls 2?
Wrong! It's Hocus Pocus!
Shit! I was this off. Same vibe.
I really thought you were going to answer seriously. It would have made my joke a lot funnier.
Sorry. I kill jokes.
Oh, God.
I'm like the Galactus of jokes.
All right. Would you like to give a synopsis or shall I?
Yes. So, Hocus Pocus. Actually, you should give a synopsis. I feel like I'll do a terrible job. I don't even remember half their names.
So Hocus Pocus is the story of three sisters who eat children in order to sustain themselves and live forever. Although back in the Salem witch days, back in the early 1800s, 1600s? Oh God, I don't know.
300 years before 1993, so that would be 1883, 1780, 1683.
1683. So back in 1683, they were hanged, and then before they died, they placed a curse that if a virgin lights the black flame candle, they will come back, but they only have one night to come back. Mm-hmm. And thus, chaos ensues.
Yes, but if they want to like stay longer, they have to like suck children's souls out.
Yeah.
Although they probably would have done that already. That seemed to be like their favorite thing.
Yeah, well, that's how they stay young.
Yeah, you know.
And beautiful.
Truly.
So yeah, tell me
pretty
your
good.
initial thoughts on the movie.
Very conflicted.
Really?
Yeah. So the thing is, I kept switching back and forth. There were
Okay.
segments of the movie where I was like, this is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Okay.
And there were other segments of the movie where I was like, oh my God, I'm so bored. This is the most boring thing I've ever watched. And it just kept flipping intermittently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the parts you were bored during.
Anytime they tried to do anything remotely plot-wise, yeah, no, there's just any
So the plot
action,
was boring.
any plot, anything that wasn't just comedy. Luckily, to the movie's benefit, much of it is comedy, I think. Like, it's very heavily just comedy. So all the comedy stuff, almost all of it works really well. But anytime they try doing story, plot, especially the action scenes, I was so bored. Like with the chase scenes and stuff, I was like, oh my God, fucking snore. But that's,
My God. I can't say I necessarily disagree, but I feel like I need to disagree on principle. I watch this movie every single year around Halloween. I don't think it's a good movie. I would like to make that clear. Like, I'm not like, wow. I mean, like, I know I just said it was a masterpiece, but that was more for the bit.
Yeah.
But
she lies to you.
It's fun. It's a very fun kids movie. It's super nostalgic for me.
Sure.
Plus, Sarah Michelle Gellar Is that her name?
I don't think Sarah Michelle Gellar is in this movie.
What's the other one that's also named Sarah?
I can't remember her name. Is that the man who's the main witch?
No, that's Bette Midler.
Yeah. Then I have no idea.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yes, Sarah. Okay, yeah. Love her.
Sarah
Love her.
Michelle
I cannot
Gellar.
believe I forgot her name.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is Daphne.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't think that's right. Yeah, that's
No, Sarah Jessica Parker plays Sarah in the
blonde
movie,
witch, right?
the blonde witch.
Best
and
witch.
She is so fucking funny.
the only witch I really liked.
That's because she's hot.
I am but a simple man. I don't have as good of a collar to stressfully grab onto now that I'm in costume. Solely me, by the way. I don't think we've addressed yet that. Okay, for the audio listeners, I am dressed fully cross-dressed in an anime girl cosplay with shitty lip gloss and everything, and Caitlin's just dressed as herself because she didn't get the memo that we were
It
dressing
was
up.
literally my idea too.
She didn't get her own memo.
I feel like you need to like post the screenshot of our text messages.
Yeah.
Because it was literally I said, can we be in Halloween costumes for the Hocus Pocus episode? And Caleb said, perhaps, can I cross-dress? And I said, obviously. And he said, the Rick and Morty meme of you son of a bitch, I'm in. And then I forgot.
Anyway, but one other thing I did want to briefly just in this little intermission kind of just shoving in the middle of here that I wanted to say is just if you're a visual viewer as well, camera might be a little fucky today. It's the new one, as you might know from last week's episode. We've been having camera problems. I've been having camera.
I was gonna say,
yeah, it's really
been having camera.
It's we. This is a we here. All right,
We're a team.
Yeah,
I just don't put forward any monetary help.
Yeah, and I am in debt. But yeah, so if the camera's weird, that's the reason why. Anyway, with that said, I think we should talk witches, like the actual witches themselves.
Okay. All right.
The blonde one was the best, though. I will stand by that.
Okay, she is.
The only one I did. Well, actually, no. I liked the one with the black hair as well. I just didn't like the main witch that much.
You didn't? Why?
She just annoyed me.
Just because she's the smart one?
No, she was just like her accent kind of got grating after a while. I don't have any issue with the actress. I think the actress did like a really good job of capturing this, but the character writing just annoyed the shit out. She had no like funny bits really. She was just like the most
I think she did.
I don't know. Like the other two like were like constantly making me laugh. They were like doing fun stuff, and then every time she did something, I was like, oh wow, you're the one who's here for the plot.
Ugh. The plot.
The plot.
If there's one thing we don't care about on this podcast, it is plot.
I mean,
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting about the three witches is I think that they kind of stereotype three different kinds of women. Not that they're okay, I'm not saying there's only three different kinds of women, but I think that they show kind of a stereotype for three different kinds of women.
Yeah.
In which you have Winnie, who is the main witch, and she's kind of more your like bossy, bitchy, you know. Mm-hmm. It's my way or the highway kind of.
Yeah, kind of doing it more for herself.
Right,
the other ones.
right. And then you have Sarah, who is the sexy one. She uses her looks and her body to get what she wants. And then the one who I can't remember her name right this second.
Oof, 20-year fan of Hocus Pocus. Can't remember the name. I mean, I didn't remember any of their names.
And she's just kind of the more submissive, lets people walk all over her.
Yeah.
Just does
emotional support.
Yeah,
almost.
just does whatever she can to make everyone happy. And
Yeah.
I think that that's interesting, and it's why I think the dynamic between the three of them works.
I do think that their actual like trio dynamic did work really
Yeah.
well. Some of my favorite bits of the movie were actually when they're just really like synchronized, like walking.
Yeah, right.
And, like shit like that. Like, it was just so goofy, but I loved
It
the
was
shit.
so good.
Those were the best parts.
So what did you think of our primary protagonist?
I didn't even remember his fucking. Hey, wait. Mike, no. Max. I was close. There's only one character's name I remembered in this movie. It was Allison. Because she kicked ass.
She did.
No, Max was just like.
I think he is
whatever.
a forgettable, basic male.
Yeah,
protagonist.
I mean, he wasn't offensively bad. Like, I wasn't like, wow, this guy sucks. I didn't get as angry at him as I did at his like sister for being an annoying sister. But
I love Dani.
there was a few parts I did like with her, but for her first like big chunk of the movie, all of my notes resulted in just me saying, "Wow, I hate this little sister. Man, she sucks. I hate this trope of annoying little sisters. Man, I fucking hate her." Just like 10 different times.
I think it's because you have a little sister.
Yeah.
So it hits a little too close to home.
Yeah, I just hate annoying little sisters. If you're watching,
she's not gonna watch. She doesn't support you.
Too close to home. Oh, that's pain.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I do have a little sister.
Less annoying?
Well, I have 2 little sisters. I'm not going to say anything about their annoying factor because they're 8 and 5. So I
very
think,
annoying.
I think they get a free pass
annoying.
at being annoying.
I just hate children. I mean,
a hot take.
Not a hot take, man. Fuck children. No, well, don't. Okay, I mean, like it's always a weird sentence to say because I hate children, so that's my instinct. But I don't mean like I mean.
You have to cut all this out.
No, I refuse. I will stand by this.
You can hate children all you want, but I don't get people who just like hate children. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I do hate. Yeah, I hate children.
No, because like it's so cringy to me to just be like, I fucking hate kids. Because it's like, yeah, you can think kids are annoying and not want them. Like, that's fine. But you literally like were a fucking kid.
I hated myself. If I think back to me as a kid, I'm like, wow, I wish someone should have killed that.
How many times have you been canceled this episode? 6? Jesus fuck.
So many fucking. Oh God. This is what wearing this cosplay is doing to me. I swear to God.
Kids are funny. I like hanging out with kids because I think that they have like the most interesting little brains. Can I tell you a story real quick before we continue on with the podcast?
Yes.
So my littlest sister, she's 5. I was hanging out with them the other day. I took them out to lunch and, being a good older bigger sister, and she had to go to the bathroom, and she's like she can go to the bathroom by herself, but like we were in a restaurant and like she shouldn't go by herself,
yeah.
So we're in the bathroom, and I don't know why that's relevant to the story, but I think it just adds like funny context. And she goes, "Sissy, I think you should have a baby." And I was like,
Ayo.
Maybe eventually, but not anytime soon. And this kid deadass looks at me and goes, "Maybe if you're lucky, you'll have a black baby." So for context, I am white, and my boyfriend is also incredibly white. Like, that is not how genetics work. And so I was put in this immediate situation because immediately I was like, haha, that's not going to happen. And she was like, well, why not? And I was like, how much information does this 5-year-old need about the birds and the bees, Because then I was like, because immediately I told her, I was like, well, that can't happen because I'm white. And she was like, I could see the gears turning, and I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I need. Like, she's gonna find like a mixed race couple with a mixed baby and be like, you can't be your mom, you're white. Like, how do you explain that to a child or an adopted kid? Like, how do you just like anyway?
See, I don't have to deal with that because I just steer clear of kids because I don't like them. Not for any.
For a court order.
I'm mandated to be 20 feet away at all times.
Anyways,
so fuck Dani.
I think Dani I love the character of Dani. I think she's so funny. She's so oblivious. One of the scenes that like it's so cringy as an adult to watch, but also when you think about it in context is like so heartwarming is when the Ice and whatever the name of the other guy was, when they're trying to steal all the kids' Halloween candy, and then Dani's like, well, my big brother's gonna beat you up. Like, I think I think it's so kind of heartwarming though, because it kind of puts into light like how she thinks of her brother. Is because she thinks of her brother as like her superhero, and like, he's always gonna protect her, and eventually he does. Like, that's what the rest of the plot of the movie is.
I mean, true.
But in that moment, you could just see how he is inflated in her eyes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know, it tickles my little heart.
She annoyed me.
I think that scene's so cute.
I lost all faith in humanity.
Also, can I just mention how cringy it is for fucking teenagers to try to bully children out of their Halloween candy?
I loved how comical the bullies were in that sequence particularly.
I was like,
fucking Ice is literally just fighting with a child. Like they're having this heated argument. I'm like, bro, she's like that little kid, bro.
Well, also just like in general, like if you're a teenager or an adult and you just fucking like literally take candy from a baby, like literally fuck you. You know what I mean?
You have beef with a fucking kid.
Yeah, like reevaluate yourself because fuck you.
May not be on the right path.
No.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The one thing I will say about Dani though, I following when they actually bring the witches back, I thought one of my favorite bits with her is how like she did not give a shit about the witches and she was like tricking them constantly. Like she tried to be like, yes, I am a witch for sure.
Sisters, welcome back. And
that was great.
I also love that they like didn't fall for it. They were like,
yeah.
But then that like 2 seconds later they fall for the fucking rain of death.
Yeah.
So fucking funny.
It's too good.
One of my other favorite tidbits, and it's it's not subtle, but it's such a minor part of the movie, and for me I think it adds to the comedic genius of the movie, is when the witches go out and they're trying to smell out the kids and they can't smell the kids because the kids are in costume, because that's like why kids dress up on Halloween, is to evade. It's not specifically for witches, but part of the pagan lore is that by putting on masks, the ghosts of the deceased can't like possess you. They have to like go past you. That's why you dress up in costume.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, I didn't actually know that.
So it's like it's one of those tidbits where they're like they can smell children but they can't see children.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny.
No, I think it worked pretty well too. I mean, that whole sequence was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, as they're just like walking through all the kids trick or treating. And then they end up meeting fucking like the guy dressed as Satan.
I was just about to bring it up.
Oh, that was the funniest scene in the fucking movie. I swear to God.
I think that's one of the cringiest scenes in the movie.
Really?
Yes, because old man Satan's just trying to hit on these like 3 girls.
It was so funny though.
And the fucking mom or the fucking older lady with the hair curlers. Wife. She's me. It's just like, fuck off.
Dude, I just love she like comes downstairs and just sees like the blonde witch just like dancing with him. She's like, no, these need to get the shit out of here.
Fuck out of here.
Nah.
But also like, what was Satan thinking?
I don't know, man.
Did he think his wife was just gonna be like chill with that? Like what is the relationship dynamic?
With his brain. That's all I'm saying. I don't know, man. Yeah, it was just comedic. I don't know. Who's your favorite of the 3 witches? I did want to ask that.
I like Winifred. She's my favorite of the 3.
Lame. My least favorite.
I think that she is my favorite because I think she exemplifies a lot of traits I see in myself, which is very loud, very in charge, kind of a bitch. No, but I think that there's something to be said about like her being the brains behind everything, and like, is she a good person? Like, obviously no, they eat children. Like none of the 3 are good people. But like, as in terms of like favorite witches, you know, as a kid I did want to be Sarah because she was hot and had boobs, and you like they fucking her cleavage is on full display, and I was like, oh, to be skinny, blonde, and bodacious.
The trio.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I grew up and realized that I am in fact none of the 3, and instead I am Binks the cat. I'm just getting annoyed the whole time because I'm like, none of you fucks are listening to me.
Oh my God. Binks the cat though, that was
Thackeray Binks.
Yeah. Actually, I think I wrote down a couple times. I was like, man, I kind of prefer the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the cat's name from Sabrina?
Salem, actually.
Salem.
Amusingly enough, because that's where this takes place, I believe.
I don't think that's amusing. I think that's pretty basic. Like Salem, Salem Witch Trials is like
whole thing. I did like how I will say that works as a segue into me saying I love that it took place in Salem.
Yes.
I would love to spend Halloween in Salem. The
Me
vibes
too.
are cool there.
Yeah.
Salem's awesome.
I love a situation where women were getting burned at the stake for like
so good.
being able to read.
Historically phenomenal. Reality maybe less phenomenal, but you know, it's interesting to see.
Though. I love Salem. I love reading about the Salem witch trials. Apparently, there's this like whole new movement that like the Salem witch trials never happened, and it's like an
Yeah.
allegory for something else. But I can't tell if that's like, based off of my research, I can't tell if that's true or if it's just like people rewriting history through a different lens that fits their own agenda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
like there was also this thing that I read a long time ago where it was like talking about how the story of Medusa in Greek mythology was based off of an African woman, and that the Greeks had just never seen such a beautiful woman with darker skin, so they like whatever. But then someone posted something about that, and then someone else like commented on it and was like, no, that's not
That ain't
not
it.
what happened. And so like it's cool to like look at these stories through a new lens
Yeah.
and see how things could be changed if it was, I mean, that's part of what storytelling is. But at the same time, like I can't tell what is actually fact and what is just not true.
That's fair. That's fair. Isn't there also a whole thing where it's like people are like upset at the way witches are like portrayed in media and stuff because it's like offensive?
Yeah. So I was gonna talk about this at during the scandals part,
Okay.
but actually during the like the making of Hocus Pocus 1, the actress who plays I'm just gonna Google her name because
Is it the black haired one?
yeah.
Yeah, the funniest thing is that she was the one I felt like I recognized the least.
Mary.
Yep.
Sorry, continue what you
I
were
was
saying.
saying she's the one I thought I recognized the least, but upon looking at everyone's filmographies, she was in the most things I've seen.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, I guess I have seen her in a lot of things. Shit.
I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so I'm
Yeah,
just
I don't
going to call her Kathy because that's her first name.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna have you put in a picture of her and also her full name.
There we go.
And I'm gonna just pre-apologize for not being able to pronounce that last name. But she did an interview in which they were talking about the making of Hocus Pocus, and someone had asked if she felt like the depiction was offensive, like because they essentially like word had got out that she felt uncomfortable about the depiction of witches in Hocus
interesting.
Pocus. And so they asked her about it in an interview, and she basically said that, you know, this is a full religion, like this is a very valid religion, and there's very stereotypical depictions of witches, and I didn't want to contribute to that. So she talked to the director, and they had a whole conversation with the director, and then she went and talked to, oh my god, can I know anyone's name? Gloria Steinem.
Oh, okay.
So Gloria Steinem was like a huge feminist icon. She still is, but was primarily back in like the 90s. And so she went to Gloria Steinem and was like, had a conversation with her about it. And generally they all gave them an all clear on how this is like a fictional retelling and you shouldn't feel bad about this and all this stuff. So I think it's interesting that you brought that up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I remember because I've been to Salem once, and at a lot of the different like museums or like things they would show, there would be like a preamble talking about how it's like a lot of the way that witches, like trying to like kind of open people's minds and be like, okay, don't see witches in like the way that they're seen in like The Wizard of Oz or things like that.
Right.
So that was like on my mind. I was like, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think that there is definitely like a very toxic portrayal of witchcraft in most forms of media, but I think that there's also, you know, something to be said about stereotypes in comedy, and there's a difference between like offensive stereotypes and then also just kind of like poking fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to talk myself into a hole.
No, that's fair.
That's
fair. Yeah. I feel you. I think there's also, it's like, I feel like there's almost a world of difference in a lot of ways between like maybe a fantasy witch versus like an actual witch as well. So it's like at a certain point, they're just two different things.
Right.
That happen to share a name.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So let's talk about acting. What did you think about the acting?
All around, great performances for the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah. I mean, the witches I thought were all really good. They performed their roles excellently.
Yeah. I mean, they're all like class A actresses.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was like, hey yo, good stuff. That's just
the kids in the movie are kids. Like, and
they didn't turn in bad performances.
No.
They were just like, I am a child and I am putting in a child's performance, and I was like, that is adequate for a child.
Right.
Yes.
Right. What about the parents? What did you think of Max's parents?
I didn't think too much about them, honestly. I was like, hey, yo, these guys are
Dressing
funny.
up as Madonna and Dracula.
I thought their costumes were very funny.
I love that scene. The I put a spell on you scene.
Oh my god, yes. That was one of the funniest bits, honestly. Yeah. The witches just like go up and start singing it on stage.
And end up putting a trance on them.
Yeah,
to make them not able to stop dancing.
Their spell/song bits were like my favorite part of the movie.
They are so good.
Like every time, because there was just such a rhythm to them. They're like tibbity tabbity tibbity, and I was like, "Hey yo, I'm here for it."
Well, Bette Midler's a Broadway actress.
Oh, okay.
The main witch.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was really good. I may have found her accent grating after a while, but that like.
She's an incredible actress.
Yeah, she performed. She was really good. Although also her lipstick was even worse than mine is right now. I think.
I think it's just a part of her character. It might be why her lover cheated on her with Sarah.
It makes sense, honestly. It was like just right down the middle.
Yeah.
Like who does that?
It's a characteristic.
I hate it.
Yeah, it's part of like a caricature. Yes,
yeah.
It's like a caricature of what she like kind of represents. It's kind of like the Red Queen kind of situation. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean I think it worked. It just like made me weird. I was like, bro, I don't like it.
Did you notice that this movie had one of my favorite actors of all time?
That it had? No.
It has one of the main actors from my favorite movie of all time, and what? I don't think you know.
Who the fuck?
Well, also, you probably are thinking Twilight. Twilight's not my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, your favorite movie is Tangled, right?
No.
No? Wait, what is your favorite movie? Fuck. Fake friend.
Hellboy.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, Hellboy 1 is my favorite movie of all time.
Really?
One of them. I guess I go through phases, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Huh.
It's very important to my childhood.
That's
I watched it a shit ton growing up. But one of my favorite actors of all time from Hellboy is in Hocus Pocus.
Who the fuck was in Hellboy that was in... I honestly have no idea.
Doug Jones.
Oh!
He played the lover that had his mouth sewn. That is Doug Jones.
Oh, shit.
Abe Sapien for those Hellboy fans out there.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy.
I know.
Huh.
It's one of those things like he's almost entirely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
But he is in most of his movies he does. Like, he is just such a great character actor.
Yeah.
That
impressive.
Poor man's skin.
Taking a toll.
It's all that prosthetics has to take a toll at some point.
Yeah. I'm still just in shock that your favorite movie is Hellboy, honestly.
Is that bad?
No, I just didn't know that somehow.
Yeah. I
feel
met Ron Perlman.
I did know that. See, I think I remember
that was like a very pivotal moment of my life.
I feel like meeting Nathan Fillion's more important though.
No, I think meeting Ron Perlman was more. So I met Ron. I say I met Ron Perlman like we went and had lunch.
Yeah, they had
I
beers.
paid an obscene amount of money to go and take a photo with him at a Comic-Con, okay? And when I saw Ron Perlman, I was like in line with a bunch of like middle-aged men. No offense, middle-aged men. We love you for the most part. But like, I was like the only person under the age of like 35 in line. And I think I was like one of 2 women in line.
Hey.
And so he saw me and his like eyes lit up and he was like, hey there, doll. And he like chatted with me for a moment before we took my picture.
Yeah.
And it was just very important. I was wearing my BPRD t-shirt that I wore in my senior pictures. I wore a BPRD shirt for my senior pictures. That's how important Hellboy is to me.
I guess, that's... I don't know why that surprised me so much. You
right
have
here,
mentioned some of that.
I'm going to send these to you. But right here is the picture of me and Ron Perlman. And then right here is my senior photo.
Okay, so you had actually asked about the main character, and I wasn't really thinking too much about one thing that I did remember, or like as I was watching, I was like, okay, that's pretty chill. I liked that he drank the vial at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was a Chad fucking move. I'm not gonna lie.
Because he was saving his little sister.
Yeah.
And it was a exact parallel of the scene at the very beginning with Thackeray and his little sister, Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was, even though I think for much of the movie's runtime, he was just like a whatever protagonist, like fine.
Well, that was his
Inoffensive.
character arc.
True, yeah. I mean, he that all resulted in something,
Right.
there. So it was like, I'll give him the grade for that. I'm like, that was a pretty good move.
Yes. And I know you wanted to talk about Allison.
Yes. I don't actually have a ton to say about her other than she was the only competent one among them, I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
Every situation, everyone was just doing jack shit, and she was always the one who actually kicked ass and did stuff.
My issue with Allison is I felt like she was very two-dimensional.
Yeah, she definitely didn't have any actual character depth to her,
Right.
but she was also competent, which I appreciated.
Right. Yes. I think they could have done more with her. I feel like she fell into a couple
Yeah.
typical female tropes, but also at the same time, I don't know how much like shit I can give her for that because the movie was made in 1993.
True. Yeah.
And so, I think it's one of those things where it's like, it would have been cool, but also I think having 3 females as like your primary leads as Winifred, Mary, and Sarah, I think that's pretty,
No, yeah.
Can we also talk about how much emphasis was put on virginity?
That
Why
I
do
did
we need
find
to talk
fucking-
about virginity in every single
this
fucking
poor
movie?
boy just getting fucking demolished in every
It's like
scene.
he's 16. Leave him alone.
Bro, every character just fucking is like, you fucking virgin.
How many kids do you think had to go up to their parents after Hocus Pocus and was like, "What's a virgin?" I know I did.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
I
Yeah.
was like, "Mom, what's a virgin?"
It is really. I was surprised by the emphasis on it because it's like a Disney movie.
And also, it's like kind of scary. Like, especially
Yeah.
at the beginning, it's like kind of scary. And then they show them like them getting hanged and like their dangling feet. Like, are we sure this movie's like appropriate for like kids?
I mean, honestly, I fucked with it because I'm like, come on, Disney, go back to the days when you would have little balls. Even though for the time it was also still very conservative for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just that now we're even more conservative. We're both more progressive and more conservative.
Okay, let's talk costuming.
Peak.
I thought the costuming was excellent.
Phenomenal.
It's all so wonderful. The Sanderson sisters' costumes are iconic. Every Halloween, you'll find someone dressed as them.
Honestly.
They're all 3 so different, but they match so well. Like
Yeah.
the color palettes, they're all in relatively cool tones, with just like a little bit of emphasis on warm tones on each one. So like on Sarah's, you get a little bit more pinky red tones.
Yeah.
On Mary's, it's mostly purple, but you get a little bit of orange in there. And then on Winifred's, there's some highlight of golds. And so they all are primarily cool tones with a little bit of warm tones. And then also on Winifred, the primary warm tone is her hair.
Yeah.
With the fiery red hair. And so I think that the color palette between the 3 of them is just so utterly iconic at this point that like you could just pull up those colors and people could automatically tell you what that is.
I mean, that makes sense. It was very helpful, too, since I could not be bothered to remember any of their names. And because they each had such distinctive, like, designs, yet belonged together.
Yes.
I was able to be like, yes, you are this one, you are this one, you are this one. Like, it wasn't at all an issue. Yet, yeah, they did feel like they were, like, a trio.
Right.
But I could easily tell them apart without
My
needing to know their
one
name.
ick, because I cannot.
There's always
go
an
through-
ick.
There's always
Always.
an ick. It is with Allison's Renaissance costume, like the colonial party costume.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Her hair. She has stick straight hair with just a tiny little bun in the back. I'm like, girl, could you not have taken a curling iron? You live in a mansion. Like, this is at least a $30,000 party, and no one could take a fucking curling iron to your hair.
I mean, maybe that's why she was complaining that nobody cared if she was at the party or not, because she didn't put in the effort.
Needed her hair curled. She's wearing this gorgeous dress with the fucking blondest hair that has no volume to it.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, I don't care, but I was trying to like empathize, be like, yeah, man, that really sucks. And then I was like, no, I didn't actually notice that at all.
That's my one ick, though.
That is an ick, yeah. No, yeah. for sure. Okay, set design, if we're going technical aspects. And not even just set design, but specifically props. And specifically the book. Just I want to say that book was dope. That's the main thing.
It's so fucking dope.
Dude, as soon as I saw that, I was like, flesh book? Hey,
yes, yo. It's so cool. Dude, and all of the set design is beautiful. The Sanderson sisters' house is incredible. All the details in it are so meticulous. The cauldron. The difference between the 1690 version of the house and then the 1993 version of the house, and how it was all the same, but then you have like souvenirs and stuff in there. Like, that's so good.
Sprinkler,
yes,
for safety regulations.
Like, that's so good.
Yeah, it worked really well. Like, I remember it was funny when the movie started, because I was like, oh yeah, this takes place in the 1600s. Okay, and then it was like, as soon as like they get caught by the police, I instantly was like, oh, they're gonna time skip, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then they did, and I was like, okay, I see, because I was like really thrown at first, but I think it worked really well.
It worked so well.
It's like a fish out of water thing, but not like obnoxious as much. Like, I think fish out of water stories are very hit or miss for me, where it's like sometimes you're like, wow, they're in a new place, crazy.
I loved that there were like certain things that they like couldn't get past, like the river of like tar, and then they realize, and they just fucking throw Sarah,
just push her onto it.
They're like, we're gonna lose one of them.
It's too good.
So funny.
I think it's because they played up those comedy aspects that it worked as well as it did. Like, if it wasn't as funny, I think this movie would have been honestly god awful, but because it was so fucking funny, it like saved like all of it, really.
So what did you think about the score?
Honestly, I mean, generally pretty good. I don't have any specific notes on it other than like it felt like a good old 90s romp. It made me feel like, ooh, magical.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I feel the same way about the cinematography and the sound design, where it was nothing special. It was nothing super memorable, but it was good. Like, it wasn't offensive. It was just like...
with the cinematography, the only point I have to make with it actually connects to having watched the trailer for the sequel. Because, I had the exact same reaction watching it. I was like, I mean, the cinematography I have no issues with it. Like, I didn't have any notes about it, good or bad. Like, it was serviceable. It did what it wanted to do. I didn't necessarily have a huge appreciation for it, but I was like, it's fine. Then I watched the trailer for Hocus Pocus 2, and immediately within seconds, I was like, oh my God, wow, the cinematography I should have appreciated more in the first one. The classic
really?
Actually like shot on sets and not on green screens.
Oh.
I thought the trailer, I honestly think the Hocus Pocus 2 trailer looked god awful.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I thought you had seen the trailer.
No. I think I did tell you I saw the trailer. I haven't seen the movie, and I haven't seen the trailer. I've just seen like clips and stuff.
It just, oh my God. It looked like in the first movie. Okay, one thing I had even written down somewhere while watching the movie was like, why is there a sequel to this? Like, it just feels like a weird movie to have a sequel to. But then just like watching the trailer, it just like felt tonally bizarre. Like, it didn't even seem funny. It like seemed way more serious than funny. And then the lighting was all dark and broody, and it was so god awful ugly. Just so much CGI. There was no actual like sets. Everything just looked like it was just thrown together at the last moment, and it made me appreciate the actual like look of the first movie much more.
Well, I will be watching it, so I'll tell you what I think about it.
We'll get an update on it. I just I don't know why they needed to do a sequel. I just don't see.
Well, first of all, it's a money grab. And
well, yeah, I guess it is Disney.
It didn't get greenlit until 30 years later. They had been trying to do a sequel right after the movie was made, and then it did not get greenlit.
How did the witches even come back? How?
Well, I will let you know as soon as I see
you better, because I don't like. Come on, they didn't. I guess did they leave something maybe up? I can't remember. Did they leave any strings like being like, ooh, maybe they'll come back? I don't. They had like the book opened its eye.
The book opened its eye.
Okay. And I guess that maybe means that they'll come back.
Ooh,
So
spooky.
scary. A Disney sequel. I
Jump scare Disney sequel.
Yeah. Me, when I saw the Hocus Pocus 2 poster as I opened Disney, I was like, oh God,
Oh no.
Disney Plus. Yeah, I don't know. I hate those cash grab kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, it just, if I could name an ick every time, just the vibes, because it doesn't feel like authentic.
Enola Holmes too.
Enola Holmes 2 at least is probably the same amount of not having a soul as the first movie. I doubt they're going even further down. I feel like it's equivalent.
We need a Hereditary too.
Oh God. Hereditary 2. Let's go. The Lighthouse 2. This time there's 3 of them.
Oh my God. And then Robert Pattinson could take the role of what William Dafoe's character did.
Hey, peak. Honestly.
Robert Eggers.
Hey,
Hire me.
yo. No, I just think if you're going to make a sequel, give it like a good, like, I don't know. I feel like you need to like have, there needs to be some soul to it. And there needs to be a reason why outside of like a producer being like, make this.
Yeah, and I don't think there is one.
Yeah, I don't. It's like Incredibles 2, how it's like, I feel like Incredibles 2 lacks so much of the soul. And then the director of that has blatantly admitted that he didn't like want to really make it as much. He was like, yeah, I mean, I was trying to make a script for a while. I couldn't make it work. And I was like, whatever. But then they basically told me that if I didn't direct it immediately, they would take it away from me and never let me touch Incredibles again, which I created. So I was like, well, I don't have a choice. I have to make this movie. Otherwise, they'll take my own property away from me. And that's why Incredibles 2 is dog shit. And that's, I feel like it's like the same kind of vibes I get from shit like, Hocus Pocus 2, where it's just like, who gives a shit?
Fair enough. So should we talk about scandals?
Scandals, yes. We did. I did accidentally prompt you to talk about the witchcraft thing a little earlier, but
yes, but I have more scandals, and they're
yes.
not from Hocus Pocus 1.
Yeah.
It's one major scandal from Hocus Pocus 2.
Is it the white moms?
No.
No,
It is not the white moms, although I will talk about that. So essentially, there was a satire video that was posted on TikTok about how Hocus Pocus 2, how they're boycotting it from their homes because it allows witches to come in. And it's very obviously satire.
Yeah.
Especially if you watch the woman's other videos, but also if you watch the whole video and like listen to what she says, like one of her lines in the video is, "In this house, we believe that if it comes on the screen,
I've seen that.
it can come on us."
Yeah, I saw that video.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. But that's that was the original one that I've seen. And whenever I've seen like white moms complaining about Hocus Pocus 2, it's all that woman. And so I don't know if people just like don't get the joke.
Yeah. That was a funny fucking video too.
It's fucking good.
At first I thought it was real. And then like as it went on, she says shit like that. I was like, oh, I see.
It's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And then the actual scandal that I wanted to talk about is Bette Midler, who up until this point I've had no issues with.
Yeah.
I think that she's a great actress. I loved her. She posted one of the most transphobic tweets I've seen.
Hey, yo. Okay, wait, remind me which this is.
Bette Midler is the main witch.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I was pretty sure I just wanted to double check.
And I don't even know
What
if
was
I
the
want.
tweet?
I don't know
you
if I want to read it. Like that's how fucked up it is.
Ooh.
Essentially, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, Bette Midler is a big supporter of Roe v. Wade, as we all should be.
Of course.
And so, but the transphobia comes from, and it's kind of in the same vein of like J.K. Rowling being transphobic, in which it's like a form of it's like a TERF form of feminism in which they just don't believe they
literally
exclude
trans exclusionary
women. Which is awful, and that's not
it's
what
horrible.
Feminism
It's terrible.
So one of the tweets says, and again, this is not me saying it, so if this fucking taken out of context, I will lose my mind, is women of the world, we are being stripped of our rights and even our bodies, our lives, and even of our name. They don't call us women anymore. They call us birthing people or menstruators, and even people with vaginas. Don't let them erase you. Every human on earth owes you.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's Huh. So that's kind of a big L. No
Yeah, no,
longer a
it's-
fan.
I know, and it sucks too, because like on one hand I get it, like I get, and especially with this being in support of Roe v. Wade, which does, have to do primarily like with people with vaginas.
Yeah.
But what it doesn't take into account is like if you have a man who was born a female and still has their genitalia that they were born with, if they get raped and get pregnant, like they're not a woman.
Yeah.
And so it does just protect people with uteruses. And like you can the transphobes just get out of here. This is not the podcast for you.
Yeah.
But it was very disappointing to see, especially, from someone that I have looked up to and have really enjoyed her entire career. Same thing with J.K. Rowling. I mean, anyone who knows me knows how important the Harry Potter series is to me and how, it was very important to me growing up. I'm still a fan of Harry Potter. Hermione Granger wrote the series, but I am very thoroughly disappointed in J.K. Rowling.
And J.K. Rowling also just continues coming out. She doesn't stop.
She does not stop, and it's made it like embarrassing to be a Harry Potter fan.
100%.
And it's one of those things I kind of like hide now. I'm a fan of the series.
Yeah.
I still enjoy it very
I'm a
much.
fan of the movies, the books. Who wrote them?
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
just like fuck J.K. Rowling, bro. Like,
No, yeah.
how dare you?
Every time I see anything from her, I just I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like shut the fuck up.
You were like one of the wealthiest book authors in history, and you fucked it up.
Yeah. And
How do you fuck it up
stupid.
that badly?
So if you're gonna my recommendation is if you're gonna purchase any Harry Potter merch, like spend your money how you want to spend your money, but if you're
Buy
going
knockoff.
no, exactly though. It's like go and support smaller creators.
Go to
who,
Etsy.
Yeah, literally, like fuck you, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah,
like
it's
honestly,
just yeah. J.K. Rowling is terrible. But is that her only actual really bad transphobic? Too?
Yeah, it was a little bit Islamophobic too. It wasn't as clear to me just from my research how it was Islamophobic.
Yeah.
But I believe that she posted a picture of the Supreme Court, and in it she had posted them as looking as if they were from.
Okay, well, yeah. So don't support her either? Question mark.
Yeah.
I guess that's unfortunate. Honestly, it's always very sad to hear that kind of thing. I will say it's just. Come on, man.
Yeah, literally.
It's just disappointing. So yeah, scandalous. Good notes. All right. And now for everyone's favorite segment in the world.
Now that we're done off with my soapbox.
Yeah, now that we're moving on from scandals, it's quotes. They're fun. They're fresh. And this movie is rather quotable, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that there's a lot of really great quotes in this movie.
Yeah, I think I already have a favorite that I want to go with, but I
have a favorite too.
I wonder if it's the same one.
What's yours?
Okay, let me see if I can find it. It's basically wait, if I can get to it. Oh yeah, it's just the fucking come on, it's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus.
I mean that one's iconic.
It was come on. I love how they even said it a second time in the movie too, and I was like, oh my god.
So one of my favorites is I suggest we form a calming circle.
That one's pretty funny.
I think I already read, look, another glorious morning. It makes me sick. Dani says, it's a full moon outside. The weirdos are out.
I actually think I had that one down too. I know I have that one down somewhere. That was pretty good.
Wench trollop, you buck-toothed mop-riding firefly from hell. From Billy. Another comment on virginity. I'm sorry, Emily. I had to wait 300 years for a virgin to light a candle. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. You sold your soul. You're the ugliest thing that ever lived, and you know it.
That was Dani just going hard.
Yeah.
That scene actually kind of slapped, though, honestly. I won't lie.
Fine, but everyone here knows that Halloween was invented by the candy companies. It's a conspiracy.
That one was pretty good. Okay, one it's not exactly a line, but another one I had written down, which was just a brief interaction, was between Ice and his friend and then Max, which was just I just moved here. From where? Los Angeles. And then just this awkward pause. LA. And they're like, oh. I thought that was pretty amusing.
I think one of my favorites is go to hell. Oh, I've been there, thank you. I found it quite lovely.
That I fucking like that one.
Yeah,
that one's
I
pretty
think-
good. Honestly,
I think that's all I have. So
I
should
like
we
that
vote?
last one.
Okay.
I kind of fuck with that last one. Honestly.
Okay. All right. So officially, the quote of the movie is "Go to hell." Oh, I've been there, thank you. I found it quite lovely.
And there you go.
I think it encompasses the themes of the movie quite
I
well.
mean, yeah, honestly, it is pretty banging.
Okay, so
All right.
Go to hell.
Oh, I've been there, thank you. I found it quite lovely.
out of 10, what do you give this movie?
Okay, I have to think about this. I think I'm between a 5 and a 6, so 5.5.
Fuck.
That's what we're doing.
Every single fucking episode,
No.
you are in the halves.
I find it difficult to be, a single number.
I'm gonna give it a 6, which is honestly the same score that I gave "Don't Worry, Darling."
because they're totally comparable.
Well, that's why I think it's fine.
No,
It's
yeah,
because
exactly.
it's like
they're very
so
different
from
things
each
that
other.
it doesn't actually
Yeah.
interfere.
And that's why it's like so hard to rank things.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. So I guess that means, in such a case, that Cynical Cinephiles' final score for Hocus Pocus is 5.75.
Yes.
Look at that, baby.
Perfect. Woo! Perfect.
We'd love
All
to
right,
see it.
Caleb, what are we watching next week?
Well, that's a great question. I was flirting around with a couple different options, but the one I ended up going for is the film Promising Young Woman.
Ooh.
Yes.
Is that the one you've been trying to get me to watch for fucking ever?
Yes. The one I've been trying to make you watch for like a year or two
Yes.
or something.
I'm really bad at following directions.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I really have been trying to get Kayla to watch this for so fucking long. So I'm like, all right, now's the time. This is it. Finally. It's finally here, an opportunity. Yeah, the title is a play on the term promising young man, which is something you'll often see kind of when they're reporting like sexual assaults. They'll be like, oh, he was such a promising young man. Wow, he couldn't have done anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, subverting that.
Okay.
And that kind of gives you a hint as to what the themes of the movie are going to be. It's a very much a feminist-driven piece of cinema. The director is a woman, and it's...
As it should
great.
be.
Yes, and the real highlight, not the real highlight, but one of the many highlights. I feel like that was a weird way to phrase that. Sorry. Bo Burnham's in it. That's...
The real highlight of this feminist movie is that there's a man.
not necessarily, but the real hook, I guess I should say, if you're not immediately
This is the
hooked.
first time we're talking about Bo Burnham on the podcast.
I
isn't
believe it is. I'm obsessed.
I'm obsessed too, and I feel like in the same way that we are a Florence Pugh fan account, we're going to be a Bo Burnham fan account.
Absolutely.
Because I am a big fucking fan.
Huge fan.
Huge fan.
Huge fan. Yeah, he's a sizable role in this movie. One of the main characters.
Okay.
Is great. That's all I will say. Don't look up anything about the movie before watching it.
Okay.
Just like go fully in blind.
about-
I won't say anything, and you can't look anything up. That's the rule.
Okay.
it's just a best blind experience. That's
Okay.
how I like to say it. Yeah, but
Can I look it up to see where I can watch it?
no. All right. Well, so if you're excited for that, everybody at home, then come back next week. Whether you're here on YouTube or listening to us audibly on
Spotify, Apple Music.
Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be on Google Podcasts soon.
Hopefully, that would be nice if Google Podcasts called me back. Maybe, maybe this episode will be up on there. Maybe not. But pretty much the majority, if not all, soon, podcasting platforms do have us. So if you don't want to just like watch us, if you want to have us on in the background,
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I promise we'll start posting there.
soon. We're getting there. It's a
is
process.
My life has been wild these past couple weeks. I did want to give a little bit of a disclaimer just because this is the Halloween episode. If you are going to listen to people on your screen, we hope that you have a very safe and fun Halloween. If you are going to be consuming adult beverages, make sure that you have a safe ride home or you have a place that you are going to be staying. Don't drink and drive. Be nice to kids who are trick-or-treating. Let them live out their childhood in the same ways that they're being taken from us at any turn. And just be nice people.
Yeah, and maybe just don't try summoning any witches, particularly if you have not fucked.
And leave black cats alone.
Well, give a little pat.
You know people kill a lot of black cats around Halloween.
Fucking racism
actually-
against cats. God
no,
damn.
it's like because there's like superstitious.
Yeah.
People will like strategically go out and kill black cats.
That's
If that's
kinda
one of
sad.
you, you're a fucking asshole and I hate you.
With that said, we love all of you. And we will be seeing you next week. So, adios.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.